Hi guys, my name is Victor. Welcoming you to today's class. Last week we dropped an ebook on an Amon story circle, and today we'll be looking at story triangle. Now, quickly, what is story triangles? Now, story triangle are those building blocks that helps you build your story from ground zero to the end. Now we have six different building blocks in the story triangle. Number one is the hook. The hook is the opening to your story. This is where you have to grab the attention of your audience. This is the part where you have the first few minutes or the first few seconds to be able to tell your audience that one thing that will make them want to watch or listen to you to the end. This is that part where you need to be able to grab the attention of your audience to make them want to say, "Oh, I want to hear what you have to say. I want to see how this video of yours is going to end. I want to be interested in this particular thing." So when you are writing your own story or you're planning something for your business, you want to be able to catch the attention of your audience within the first few minutes, within the shortest time possible. Now, the second thing in the story triangle is the conflict. Now, what is the conflict? Now, this is the moment your character runs into a challenge or an obstacle. The conflict creates a question in the heart of your audience. When you are done grabbing the attention of your audience, you want to create a stir in their mind that would make them ask a question like, "So, how did you go about it? So, what is going to happen next? So, I'm really interested in how you moved from this point A to point B." Now, it's like that point in, say, for example, in Money Heist, where you are watching and then you notice that the professor at some point is about to get caught with in the net with the police, and you're all looking like, okay, so what's going to happen next? How is the professor going to move from this stage to another? Now it has stirred up a question in your mind and you want to follow suit on that story. Now the same happens in your business where you are creating this obstacle, and then in the mind of your audience they want to like, okay, now I need to know what next. The goal is to be able to set their hearts to ask the question like, what next? So how is this going to happen? You want to see that kind of, how would I put it? You want to see them intrigued in their heart, and then you want to ask that question. Now, when you are done with that, the next thing is initiation. That's the third thing in the story triangle. Now, what is initiation? Now, this is the moment the character decides to take on the conflict. Now, we all know that when you encounter certain troubles or certain problems, you want to take the first step on how to solve the problem or on how to go about the challenge. Now, when first created a conflict, you need to start throwing out that first step on how you solve the problem, you need to start explaining the first step as to how you were able to take on the challenge, to take on the obstacle that you have created. Now, it's a key point because your audience would want to know from the scratch, how did you transition? What was the first decision that you made before moving forward? So once you're able to start on this ground, you are already carrying the audience along. They're already flowing along with whatever it is that you are saying or with whatever it is that you are showing them. The next thing is the journey. The journey talks about milestones, setbacks. It talks about everything that happened in your story. This is where you start talking about different problems that you must have encountered while you are trying to settle the challenges you have created. It talks about the gains that you must have made. It talks about the losses that you must have made. Now, these are key things that your audience want to see. So while you were trying to overcome this obstacle, what did you do? What did you gain from it? What did you learn from it? Now, you need to be able to put in as much as possible for your audience to be able to understand where you are coming from. For the audience to keep on saying, "Oh, I want to follow suit. I want to follow through to the end." You need to be able to explain the journey to them properly. When you are done with the journey, when you've gotten that exact thing you're looking for, you've gotten your audience so attracted to you at that point. Their attention is now on you fully. They are all waiting to see that, okay, so what next? Because that's the question that's always in their mind. So they've heard of the challenges, they've heard of the first step that you have taken. They've now heard what you went through while trying to solve the problem. Next thing here is your resolution. Now, this is the emotional crescendo, the climax, and the resolution to the conflict that you have set earlier on. Now, what is this resolution? What is it all about? Now, this is where you get to tell your audience how you're able to overcome all of all of the obstacles and the challenges that you have gone through. Did you end well? Were you able to overcome the challenges? Where are you at this moment? What transition have you made? What have you learned in the past? Now, this is what the resolution talks about. You've been able to hit the major conflict of the story. You've been able to tell them your journey all through. And this part is you telling them, here is how I made it. This is what I've been able to achieve. This is what I've not been able to achieve. These were the ups and downs. And then this is where I am presently at the moment. And that's what the resolution is all about. And when you've gotten to that point, you get to the last part, the jam, the closing of the story. This is where you bring up the call to action. What do you want the audience to do next? You've put them in an emotional situation. But what do you want them to do? Do you just want them to feel emotional and then just say, well, it's a nice story, we'll like to hear from you later, or we'll get back to you? Or do you want them to say, oh, I think I have to pay for this, or meet me in my office on Monday morning, let's sign this deal? Or you want them to say you are the person for the job, or you just want them to do an action? So in the closing part of every of a story, be it a video, be it a pitch, be it a presentation, this is paramount. You must give them the call to action. And so with these 6 points in story triangle, when you build and you follow them one after the other, you lay down everything while building your pitch on your video, you are sure to be able to tell a proper story and get the right action that you're looking for. So if you have any questions, you can send your questions, and then you can also look up our other videos on the website www.businessesandstories.com. Thank you.